Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Bright Violet Arts. My name is Valerie, and in the video today, I'm doing something a little different for my September theme. I am doing a tribute to the movie Little Shop of Horrors, which is a fabulous movie from the 80s. It's a musical. It's kind of like a cult classic. It's got, sci-fi and horror and, romance comedy. It's just a really great movie. It's a classic. So I used a little watercolor and set up my bujo in tribute to this favorite of the past for me. So I hope that you enjoy it as much as me. If you haven't seen the movie, I'll try not to spoil the plot for you. But I will give you enough information that you can enjoy the spreads along with me. So I'm getting started on the cover page here, and this whole scene that I've drawn out is like a reference to the beginning of the movie. And the way the movie starts is there's this total eclipse of the sun, and it is it defies science, and nobody understands why it wasn't predicted. So that's how the movie begins. And right after the total eclipse of the sun, there is this strange and interesting new plant that shows up in New York City. The lettering for September is meant to look like it's dripping blood. So I think that kind of foreshadows the story. Basically the plant feeds on human blood, and we find out pretty early on in the movie the problems that's going to cause for the guy that's in charge of the plant. The plant is going to grow throughout the movie, so I'm painting it here, and it's not in its original baby state, but more in its adolescent state. And then when I paint it again later on a different spread, it'll be bigger. So it does grow throughout the movie, and that was kind of a challenge when I was trying to draw it out and paint it, but it was pretty cool. I noticed in the plant itself, it's not a natural looking plant. It has leaves from all different kinds of plants. Some look like they're ferns, some of the leaves look like they're ivy. There's all kinds of a mix of different leaf structures in it. But yeah, there's the finished cover page, and the plant looks suitably terrifying, I think. And moving on to the calendar here, I just glued in a printout that I did of a painting that I had done on watercolor paper, and I scanned it in to my computer and then printed it out on acid-free copy paper. It's kind of a long story on why I had to do that, but it was the only painting I did that I didn't paint directly into the notebook this time. And anyway, the painting is of the three chorus girls, the Greek chorus. If you're not familiar with the Greek chorus, what that means is it's a group of performers in a movie or a play that don't talk to the other actors. They don't interact with them. Their job is to talk directly to the audience, and the actors don't ever see them, and they usually dress alike and comment on the action, I guess you could say, usually through song. So I have little music notes here for my three girls. I love it that in this movie the Greek chorus is a 60s girl group. It's really cute. The next spread up is for tasks and habits, and for this illustration it's time to introduce the hero of the movie and his love interest. So the hero is this nerdy little florist named Seymour, and his love interest is his co-worker at the flower shop in a really bad part of New York City, and her name is Audrey. When I paint Seymour's hair, I'm starting with a light brown color as a base coat, and then I'll use a darker color on top that is closer to his real color, but I needed that light color to serve as highlights so I could show the texture of the curls. And then I don't know what Audrey has on in this picture. I used a freeze frame from the actual movie as my reference photo to draw this picture, and I was looking at her outfit. It's I guess it's little petals, but yeah, it was weird, and I didn't know exactly how to shade it. But I did all right with it, I guess. And I like that the illustration looks kind of like a comic book. I thought that was like, this movie doesn't have anything to do with comics, but somehow the comic book treatment for the art really goes with the like 60s vibe of the movie, because the movie is set in the early 60s, and it just, I don't know, it just seemed very like campy and cool to use like a comic book technique for it. So I really liked that. And on the rest of the spread, I am setting up a checklist for my monthly tasks, and of course a habit tracker. I went back up to 9 habits. I tracked 6 habits last month, and I just didn't feel like I was keeping tabs on everything that I wanted to, so I increased it again back to 9. The next spread up is my 1 line a day, and the illustration here is going to show us the first villain of the movie. And I say that because this movie is sort of unique in that there's more than one villain. But anyway, so here's our first villain, and this is Audrey's boyfriend. And he is a dentist, and he's sadistic. So he's not a nice guy, but if you're wondering like about the pose that he's in here, like I said in the intro, this is a musical. So he's singing. That's why his hands are like, like flipped out and his mouth is open. He's singing as he gives this injection. In the movie, this character, the dentist, is played by Steve Martin, and he's like very funny in the role. I'm just numbering off my lines here for 1 line a day. And I'm going to do more of that lettering that I did for the word September on my cover page, where it's meant to look like dripping blood. But this is a smaller size of lettering, so I had to break out a Moonlight Jelly Roll in red to finish the little small droplets. Alright, this spread is a mood tracker, and I am painting a full-grown version of the plant, whose name, by the way, is Audrey 2. And the Audrey 2 is all grown up now and super terrifying, with a great big mouthful of teeth. He's actually got like 2 rows of teeth. If you look in there, he's got like 2 tongues and extra teeth sitting on top of one of the tongues. It's really weird. I don't know who dreamed up this particular monster, but it's pretty crazy. It's like a lot of stuff I wouldn't have noticed if I wasn't drawing it, but when you look carefully at it, it's like part animal characteristics and part plant characteristics. Like these are like little scales that it has, and yeah, it's just a creepy little monster. Opposite of the illustration, I'm just setting up my standard mood tracker here, and we're all done with that page. Next up is the weekly setup, and I'm using Dutch doors this time, so I only have to paint the illustration once for all 5 weeks of the month. The calendar layout for this month, for September of 2022, has 2 half weeks and 3 full weeks, like 7-day weeks. So I had some extra room in my Dutch doors, so I have started off with the playlist and an area to write current events. And then on the second flap of this spread, I'm splitting it up into 5 blanks for the 5 days of that partial week. And then opening to the second flap, the next 3 flaps are going to be for full weeks. So they're pretty simple. I've got a spot there for notes and tasks. And then on the last flap of the weeklies, I've put a meal tracker in, and I called it It's Supper Time. That's just a reference to a line in the movie. I thought this whole setup, the weeklies, it was weird to put like things other than the weekly inside the weeklies, but I mean, it's going to be functional, and I still think it looks, pretty cool. The last spread is going to be the memories page for me, And I'm going to have a spot for a couple of photos, as well as the lines that I use just for like free-form journaling to talk about, just various memories from the month. And the illustration I'm painting for this is Audrey's dream house. She wants to live in the suburbs. That's her life's dream, is to live somewhere green. She says that's the title of her song, Somewhere That's Green. And anyway, she dreams of this little house, and in her fantasy, it's very, very cute. It's like a very 60s suburban house, and I tried to copy it as close as I could. I tried to get as many details as I could, exactly like the shot in the movie. So it just turned out so cute. I think it looks like an adorable little dollhouse. While I'm doing this final flip through of the pages from today, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys that responded to my request for theme ideas in my last video, or my last Plan With Me video. I appreciated it so much. I actually took so many great ideas from your comments, and several of them I actually plan to do pretty soon. So I'll make sure to call it out when I'm doing one of those special themes. And if you've made it all the way through the video, please leave me a plant emoji in the comments, because I just get such a kick out of that. You can follow me for more journaling content over on Instagram. I'm at Bright Violet Arts. And feel free to drop some more theme ideas into the comments. That never goes out of style. Thanks again, you guys, for watching the video today, and happy journaling.